I will say last time, I don't want to be friend with you. That's it.
Well, you know what? This conversation's over.
You.
What's up, y'all? This has been a crazy, crazy episode. Episode 10 was wild. I mean, you have Brandon and Rosh almost throwing hands at the baseball game. You got Mido proving once again that he is the biggest man-child on TV to this date. Then you got Shea getting all exposed. He's flirting with the women or girls at the party right in front of Anna, literally right in front of her. Then you got Marissa's family finally admitting that being in this relationship may be a problem for her. And she is also admitting it. This may be a problem for me. So grab your snacks because we got a lot to talk about. So let's get into all the mess and drama. So let's first get right into it. Okay, we have Edward and Marissa. Okay, we start with Marissa coaching Edward on how to take out the trash. And yes, I said coaching. I mean, she was telling him, put it right here on the curb, means on the curb, and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Like, oh my goodness, like I am so tired of her mommying this man. Now, I understand that she has things and wants things a particular way, but they are most certainly not going to get done by coaching this grown man on how to take out the trash. Okay. She has to see things from both perspectives. She wants him to be this pre-made man that she always dreamed of marrying and being with, and it's just not going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. Then she has a little sit down with her mom, and she's basically like, I don't know if this is going to work, and I don't know if I, really thought this through. And her mom is basically like, yeah, kind of like we told you that. Like, I don't really know what you thought that you were getting by getting a man that is basically on a way different caliber than you, but you kind of got what you asked for. I mean, he's from a different culture, he's from a different country, he speaks a different language. It's so different. And she wanted this man that was just already put together. And then Marissa's like, well, he needs to be a man. He needs to stand up for himself and all that type of stuff. And I get what she's saying. He probably should be standing up for himself more than he is. But at the end of the day, he is probably a little bit afraid. He's afraid of pushing it too far, taking it too far, without fully knowing her. So he just it's just a mess. And her mom basically tells her that he's just too nice. He stands up for, he's okay with all of her nagging and stuff like that. He's just not strong enough to be the man that you need, honestly. Okay. And honestly, based on the conversation, with her mom, she's having some major, major doubts. I mean, she's like, basically, I might want to call this off. Okay. I might want to call this off. So then you got them going to the park and they kind of start talking about their relationship. And Edward is basically like, he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. And I honestly agree with that perspective. Because no matter what he does, it seems to never be enough. Never what she wants him to do, never enough to her standards. And like I said again, he's from a completely different country and culture. So she has this attitude, with him every 5 minutes that he's not doing enough. He's not doing it the way she wants it done. She has to keep reminding him like a child. And she keeps using the child thing. Like that is disrespectful. Calling a grown man a child, I don't care how many ways you mean it or how much good you may mean, want to come from it. It's not. It's not. It's disrespectful, and you should not be referring to your future husband as a child. And no, like if that's the case, you need to just let him pack up and go back to his own country. Okay. Then she's not even 100% sure that she wants to continue this relationship, which just tops it all off. So honestly, she's kind of just stringing him along, in hopes that he gets it together and starts acting like she wants him to act. And I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, newsflash, it's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to get the Edward that you thought that you was going to get, and I don't really know why her expectations were so high up for him but they were okay. Then they kind of wrap up the conversation. Marissa's like basically saying like she needs a strong man that'll put her in check and yada yada yada, and probably she probably does. But Edward is just doesn't seem like he's going to be the one to put his foot down anytime soon. So she might be in for a little bit of a wait for that. So now let's get to Shea and Annabelle. Now their part was a little bit on the short side, but it really it said everything we seen everything we needed to see. We kind of already knew what was going on anyway. So they're still at the party, and Shea is drunk as a skunk. He's feeling himself. He's talking to all the women's and stuff like that, and Annabelle is just not having it. She wants nothing to do with any of it. Okay, she is like, "I'm ready to go in the house. I'm done with this. I'm ready to go to sleep." And she's like, "I'm done with it." And he's like, "Well, no, no, these are my friends. This is my party, blah, 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 blah." And, you know, I just don't think that they are so different. I just don't think that they're going to work long term. Honestly, I don't think they're going to work long term. If anything, it's going to be her just constantly putting up with his shit until she finally gets tired of it, and then she's like, "I'm gone." But it's not going to be something that's going to last years and years and years because Shay likes to do what he likes to do, and Anna does not like what he likes to do, and it's just not going to work. Period. So she's basically fed up with his shenanigans at this party, and I understand her. He's doing way too much to be engaged, honestly. Like sit your ass down, have you a drink or two or three or four, but don't be doing all the extras, okay? Don't do all the extras. So I don't know. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that couple down in the comments, because I don't know. To be determined, to be continued. We'll just have to see what comes up next for them. So then we get into Rosh and Mallory. Okay, now this has to be the highlight of this whole entire episode. So they start off, they're heading to a baseball game where Rosh is supposedly throwing the first pitch. Um, Strange. But apparently Brandon is going to be there. Okay. And Raj is not, of course, not happy about it. When he sees him, he's like, basically, I told him, don't call, don't text, don't do nothing. And I'm completely over it because at this point, well, while I see what he means, like, they were sleeping together or dating, whatever the case is, at this point, it's either you're beating a dead horse, okay? Clearly, Mallory is just not going to change her mind about Brandon. She's not going to change her mind about Brandon. Brandon's not going to change his mind about Mallory. So it's either you're going to deal with it or you're going to just have to leave because keep talking about it over and over again and doing this like, trying to treat him bad because he don't want her or him around. It's just not going to work out in his best favor. It's going to leave his house in an uproar. Okay, but anyway, Brandon has this like little side confessional thing. He's like, "Well, why'd you invite me if you're going to just throw shade?" And I was like, "Huh? Shade? I didn't know the country folk use shade like that." Okay, but anyway, I don't think he knows that Ross did not invite him. Ross did not invite that man. But anyway, he throws the first pitch, and honestly, I guess it was pretty good. I don't really watch baseball that much, so I don't really know. He threw the ball, they called it. I guess it was pretty good. They get back to their seats, and Ross just refuses to let Mallory sit next to Brandon. He's like, "No, I'm gonna sit here. You sit over there," which is really just weird. I mean, like, what you think is gonna happen? You think they're gonna be touching each other while they during the game? Like, come on now. Let's be so for real. Um, and honestly, if I was Mallory, I would have stayed right there. I'd be like, no, you sit right there. Because at this, like, it's too much. Like, I'm not about to cater to your behavior at this point. I've already told you what it is and told you what it's not. And if you don't like it, then forget it. I don't know what to tell you. I just know what to tell you at this point. So then kind of they're watching the basketball game, and he's like, basically, Brandon's like, starts to explain. Well, Raj asks like about the game and stuff like that. He asked a question about baseball, and Brandon like starts to explain and stuff like that. And Raj cuts him off and basically was like, "Shut up," because he'd rather hear from her friend Ryan. And now that was disrespectful. That was disrespectful, Raj. I mean, I'm sorry. That was so disrespectful. You do not do that. You do not do that. Like, you must want some serious problems if you're doing something like that. Because at this point, I feel like that Brandon's trying to make things work between, their relationship. Trying to have at least a you know a decent relationship with Ross for the sake of his and Mallory's friendship. And so I just think that he's just doing too much. He's really starting to be a little bit on the childish side. I understand it's a cultural thing, but like Mallory said, that he's in America and this kind of stuff happens all the time. And so it's not abnormal to see something like that, or for friends to be have dealt with each other and they're still friends. Like, it's not like abnormal. So um and then they kind of get into this like heated thing, things escalate, and then he's like, basically, well, fuck you then, and throws the popcorn at him, and then he storms off, and child, he was hot. And I know he stormed off because he wanted to smack the piss out of his mouth. So I know he's like, let me get on, let me just get on out of here, remove myself from the situation before this escalates to a different level. So, and I really admire Brandon for that, because most people would have laid some hands on that dear young man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, um, you know, like I said before, if I was in Roger's position, I would either let Mallory and Brandon be friends or just leave the relationship and be done with it, because it's clearly nothing's going to change. So stop it. You're beating a dead horse. Cut it out. I don't know what to tell you, Raj. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So then we get to good old Mido, and Debbie. Okay. Um, Honestly, my least favorite couple. And it's not because of Debbie, it's because of Mido. So, and I was honestly dreading looking at this couple this episode, because I am so tired of Mido, this 41-year-old man acting like he's 14. Like, act your freaking age and not your shoe size. Like, you really have got to be kidding me right now. Like, so they go down to the lake and have a talk. Of course, he didn't really want to. He's just yeah, just acting like real standoffish, and it's real stupid. So they basically had this little conversation, and the moral of the story is that he thinks that he's right, and he thinks Debbie is wrong. Period, point blank, full stop. He thinks that he has done nothing wrong and she's done everything wrong, and she's the reason why. Okay. So, and not to mention, this man is so emotionally unavailable and emotionally immature that it's just completely disgusting. He's dismissive. And if I were Debbie, I would have like stopped putting so much effort into this relationship a long time ago. There's just no way that I would have been with this man for so many years, quote unquote, been with this man for so many years, and then he has not even said, "I love you." He's put in basically no effort, in my opinion, no effort at all. He's just like dismissive of the whole conversation. And he's like, basically, when she's like, "You ain't even said like I love you," basically. But then she's like, "Oh well, I know you love me." No, you don't. If that man ain't said he love you, he don't love you, child. If somebody loves you, they say, "I love you." Period. It's not that hard. It's three whole words. Not that hard. Okay. So anyway, they kind of gets in this conversation further into it, and he's like, well, he left everything in Egypt and all this kind of stuff. It was like, honestly, we all know he didn't leave Egypt because he wanted to be with Debbie. He left Egypt because he wanted to become this big Hollywood movie star. Like, open your eyes, Debbie. Open them wide. Open them up. Okay. This man is a mess. He's nothing but a drag on your life. Okay. Nothing but a drag on your life. He refuses to look into the mirror at himself and see that he is actually the problem out of this. Okay. So they get back home, the daughter walks in, and immediately she's like, there's a lot of tense energy in here, you know what I mean? Like you can cut it with a damn knife, it's so tense. So I'm like, girl, you're right. You're right. So then we got Mido is basically sitting there, he's looking through a book full of pictures of himself, of his fucking self. Okay. Now this stuff cannot be made. I mean, he's literally looking through a magazine and you see nothing but photos of himself. Like what? Are we serious? Like this is when I really start to think that this man is clearly a narcissist. Like he has some serious issues. So later, Debbie and her daughter kind of go to the spa, and her daughter's basically like, yeah, after everything that has happened and transpired, I don't think y'all should get married. Okay. I don't think y'all should get married. And Debbie's like, well, we've been together for 6 years and all this stuff. And I'm like, 6 years? 6 years? Y'all been together? And this man is still acting like he don't even like you. He don't even want to be next to you. He don't do nothing in 6 years of time wasted. That's what I can say. 6 years of time wasted. I mean, the writing is all over the walls. It's covered in walls. You see, it's covered in the walls. It's not gonna work. Like Debbie, run for your life, girl. It's not gonna work. It's not for you. But we all know she probably gonna stay up until the last minute. But we got a little something that's gonna that's gonna happen next episode. But we'll get into that one on the next video. But anyway, let's get to Thomas and Paula. So they're having a picnic with Thomas's dad and his stepmom, and basically before Paula even sits down, I mean, his stepmom is saying something about how she's dressed. Like she clearly is a sneak disser, and those are the worst type. Like, say it to her face. If you don't like why are we backhanded comments at her around like not to her face? Like that's just weird. Like his stepmom is a mess and she can't even dress and she looks a mess anyway. So anyway, Paula catches all the strays from her. But anyway, um, so Paula gives like this little tiny suitcase to them as a gift. Basically, that they get to the conversation, hey, this tiny gift, we want you to travel, to come to our wedding and all this type of stuff. And immediately they like, yeah, we gotta have somebody to watch the farm. We gotta go paint the paintings. We gotta go cut the grass. It's just all these excuses. So they don't want to come. And the dad is like, I don't want to see his mom, basically. I don't want to ever talk to her. I don't want to ever see her or nothing. So I don't know how that's gonna work. For some reason, I kind of feel like they're probably gonna show up anyway. If his dad actually loves his son, you show up anyway because, like, you ain't got to speak to the mama. You ain't got to be bothered with the mama. In fact, you can act like she don't exist, but you're still there for your son at the end of the day. So, and I don't really care if his stepmother comes. I'm sure he does, but who cares? Like, she's a Debbie Downer anyway. But anyway, on to our next and favorite couple, maybe Maxwell and Aisha. Okay, so everybody is basically sitting together. His mom, dad, sister, Maxwell, Aisha, all them people are in the room. Then they basically announced that they're going to get married in a few weeks. And almost immediately, his sister brings up the fact of their age difference. She's basically like, yeah, you too old, and I can't support the marriage of to my brother because you're almost 10 years his senior. So not going to work. So and Asia basically explains that in America we have plenty of options, different methods of having children and all that type of stuff. And his sister at first is really not trying to hear it. And while understand there's probably a cultural thing with that and his sister giving so much input on her brother's marriage and life and whether they have kids, it's not her business. If her brother is happy with it, mind your business. Mind your business. Okay. Mind your business. That's just it. It's none of your concern at all. And the whole time she's talking about that, I'm thinking about where is your baby daddy? Okay, you giving everybody else marital advice and whether they should get married and also where is your baby daddy? Because it look like something didn't work out there. I'm just saying, maybe he don't want to be a part of the show, but I'm just saying, I ain't heard not one mention of your baby's father. So before you start judging everybody else, you might want to look into your own house and your own situation to see what's going on for real. Okay, mind the business that pays you. You ever heard of that saying? So anyway, they're talking about it, and Aisha basically brings up the Lord and what God and all that stuff is, and all the Bible stuff. And they basically agree, oh, we're gonna leave it in God's hands. And so they leave it in God's hands, and they all kumbaya and everybody's okay with it now. So hell, maybe God was in the room that day because I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all. So let's get into Josh and Catie, our final couple for this episode. Okay. So she meets up with Ryan at the park. They're doing a little exercising. God, I can't say it. And whatnot. And Ryan's like tells her, like, I think you have a problem with alcohol. And I'm like, yes, she definitely does. There's no think to it. Um, she just can't stop drinking. Like, it's okay to have a drink or two, but the way you getting drunk to where you cannot remember what is going on that happened the night before, like, and the drinking is leading you to do things that you later regret, is crazy. Like, that means you need to stop drinking, and if you can't stop drinking, if you can't go out and have fun and not drink, then you need to reassess what's going on for real, because you honestly probably have a problem with alcohol from what I see. Um, and like Josh, to me, like he's doing her no favors because he completely ignores this repeated behavior. She has the same behavior with going out, getting drunk, want to make out everybody, then comes home, apologize. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. It's the same. It's like it's a cycle. It's a repetitive cycle. Like, and he's doing her no good for their relationship by not saying anything and not putting his foot down. Like, this is unacceptable. I'm not going to say any more behavior like this, and I'm out of here. One more time, I'm out. I'm done. Like, you got to put your foot down, okay? And at the end of the day, I think that Catie wants her cake, and then she wants to eat it too. You know, she want to keep doing what she wants to do, the party girl lifestyle. Then she want the solid relationship with Josh, and it's just you can't have them both. You cannot have them both because you can't do one in reason. You can't go out and party and have fun within reason. You got to take it way overboard. Okay, and it's just not gonna work. Like, you got to pick one struggle. Pick one struggle, girl. One struggle. Okay. So y'all, that is the end of this great episode. Now we have to talk about a little bit about next episode. So we have Marissa. Okay, she has an emotional conversation with her friends. She starts crying, and her friends are like, "Well, I don't. This doesn't sound like you, Marissa." So they do that, and then you got Annabelle and Shea. They head to the church. Okay, and apparently Allison don't like the way she was acting towards the church members or how she was acting in church. So they get into a little heated conversation outside of the church. And so then you have Aisha. She tells her family basically she's getting married. Looks like that's pretty sure that's her uncle, I want to say. That she was on the phone with, and it don't look like that it turned out to be good. He doesn't look very happy at all. Then you have Mallory, Brandon, Rosh, Ryan, and the rest of her crew kind of debate about the prenup. And to me, surprisingly, it looks like that Brandon is in Ryan or on Rosh's side on this one. So that is very interesting to say the least. Maybe this might be a new, page turn, leaf turn, whatever the saying goes. So we'll just have to see about that. Then you have Debbie, takes Mido to a wedding chapel, I guess, to make him get married to her right then and there. And this man looks like he ends up saying, I think I need to go home. Congratulations. I'm so glad. Get on out of here. Get on out of here. But on the downside, Debbie looks like she completely breaks down. So that's sad for her. But it is what it is. So that is the end of this. If y'all enjoyed the recap, don't forget to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Your thoughts on this episode and about me, if you want to. Kind of let me know the biggest train wrecks right now. What is y'all favorite couple? What is y'all least favorite couple? Because at this point, I honestly don't know how much worse some of these couples can get. But once again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one for episode 11. Peace.